Okay, now let's move on to the topic of diphthongs. The diphthongs I and ow are represented in vocalized text as follows. First, we would have like a fatha and a ya, which would make an I sound. Now, you may think that ya is an E or like a long vowel sound, but if it's preceded by a fatha, the fatha assumes the stance as a short vowel, which then makes a diphthong sound, I. Next, we have fatha and waw. And rather than waw just being an oo, it's more of an ow sound. Notice how wow sort of begins with a w sound and yep begins with a y. So this explains the diphthong. The short vowel is serving as the vowel, and the actual symbol, the actual Arabic letter, is indicating which of the following diphthongs it's assuming. Let's now discuss vowel omission. An Arabic syllable can be open, meaning that it ends with a vowel, or closed, meaning that it ends with a consonant. When a syllable is closed, we can indicate that the consonant that closes it does not carry a vowel by marking it with a diacritic called sukun. And what sukun looks like is a very, very tiny circle, or perhaps a degree mark, or if you're familiar with that, above a word, to remove any ambiguity, especially when the text is not vocalized.
Let's take a moment to practice the sukun. Let's take the example of the Arabic verb to write. It is written in Arabic the following way: kaf, ta, ba. Essentially, this word would be equal to K, T, and B if you were using, for instance, the Latin alphabet. But if you were reading this in Arabic, you don't read it ktib, but you would actually read the word kataba. However, if it is a non-vocalized text, which most of the time you will be coming across a non-vocalized text, an Arabic learner, as I mentioned before, will not necessarily know how to pronounce this word unless the diacritics are included. For instance, in this word, this is a good word to start out with because it does not contain a sukun, so it'll help you notice the difference when we then discuss the sukun in 1 second. But for instance, there is a fatha, which is the short vowel, placed 3 different times in this word kataba, which again is the verb to write. There are many, many words in Arabic that contain the sukun. Let's take a few examples. I want to pick a nice healthy mixture of examples just so you can kind of get a grasp of the whole idea of short vowels as well as sukun. Let's take the word for eagle, nasr. Now notice that there is a sukun between the sin and the ra. If this sukun were not here, it could be pronounced a variety of ways. The word could be pronounced nasara, it could be pronounced nasar, it could be pronounced nusur. But once the diacritics are included, for instance, the fatha over the nun and the sukun over the sin, we now know how to pronounce the word, nasr. As I said, once you become more familiar with context and you become more familiar with the vocabulary, these diacritics will no longer be included. This can make Arabic quite difficult unless you learn all of this early on. Let's take another word. Let's take the Arabic word for dress. The word for dress in Arabic is fustan. First, try to identify the letters just so we can practice the alphabet a little bit. First is the fa, then the sin, then the ta, then an alif, and because alif is a non-connector, we finish with the letter nun in its isolated state. Okay, now let's add in the diacritics. The first diacritic we're going to add is dhamma, which, as you know, makes the u sound. So this gives us our short vowel to denote the fus part of the word, fustan. Now the sukun is placed in between the sin and the ta. If this sukun were not here, the word could be pronounced a variety of ways. It could be pronounced fusatan, fusutan, or fusitan. But of course, since the word is fustan, and there's no short vowel in between the sin and the ta, in other words, we go straight into it, with no short vowels included, we need a sukun. Hopefully the function of sukun is becoming more and more clear. Okay, that concludes the Arabic alphabet. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below and I will definitely try to get back to you. I encourage you to watch these videos again and again and practice along. Try to learn, and remember, learn from a variety of different sources. Good luck. It's a hard road ahead, but I'm sure you can do it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.